Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome back. Today is April 26th, and the teaching that we are talking about today is a teaching regarding universal law number 1, the Law of Divine Oneness. The title of this video is The Unseen Gateway. Law number 1, the Law of Divine Oneness. Okay, so as we've been discussing about the 12 universal laws of abundance and prosperity, this law is the first. And to review what these 12 laws represent, just as our universe has natural laws such as motion and gravity, there are also spiritual laws that govern all energy. These laws are called the 12 universal laws. The universe exists in perfect harmony with these laws. Each of the 12 universal laws is very powerful, and they all work together all of the time to create your life, whether you know you are working with them or not. Okay, so law number 1, the Law of Divine Oneness. This law states, everything that exists, seen and unseen, is connected to each other, inseparable from each other, in a field of divine oneness. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that we are all connected within the field, inseparable from one another. Therefore, the people around you can either pick you up or drag you down. So if you're having an experience in your life where you feel like you're being held back, you're not where you want to be, and you're around people that have a lack mindset, even if you're trying to be positive, you will be pulled down into that negative energy, and it will stunt you, and you will create from that space. However, if you are around abundant, positive people, that energy will bring you up, and you will create from that space, and you will have abundance, prosperity, and positivity in your world. Now, the biggest part of today's message is to explain the empath narcissist paradigm. Now, we see this and or experience it personally, but we see it within our collective often, frequently. And there's a lot of pain and frustration and judgment related to this principle. Okay? Now, within the empath narcissist paradigm, the empath craves purpose. The narcissist craves domination. of resources. Those resources can be love, attention, money, stability, etc. Domination for the narcissist means ownership versus lack of having. So they desire to own because in reality they experience a lack of that thing. Okay? Whatever that resource is. Now for the empath, purpose is going to equal someone to save. That would give them purpose. But that is instead of saving themselves, they will then look to another to save them because they believe that they are a victim in some way or disempowered is really what that means. The empath in this situation is disempowered. So when they experience or perceive a purpose of saving another, their own self-concept and self-value becomes attached to that goal. Now, the narcissist who is craving attention and reassurance and admiration and resources is going to experience this empath who's more than willing to give all of those things and is going to capture, is going to seek to dominate, to reinforce or ensure that those resources are available at all times for that narcissist. And when I say narcissist, what I mean is someone who is existing in an energy of narcissistic behavior. Okay? As an empath, your value makes your boss, friends, or lovers proud to have you. Okay? Especially if they never tell you that. They don't tell you that on purpose because they're banking on your lack of self-value and self-concept and your connection to purpose of pleasing whoever to keep you in a position where you are constantly striving towards feeling less than, so that the other in the situation can be fed, essentially, whatever resource. Okay? And when it comes to a boss, a friend, or a lover, they keep you because you make them look good. You make them look less bad, less narcissistic. Now, in empath, before development, lacks boundaries. They perceive boundaries as limitations. And limitations are bad and wrong. That's what it feels like. There's no limit to my love. Okay. An empath lacks boundaries because they lack self-worth and self-value. If you value yourself so significantly and understand what a treasure you are. And stop blaming yourself for everybody else's issues. You're an empath, so you feel their emotions. And you're constantly wanting to make people feel better. This is how it goes. There's no judgment here. When you are empathic, you can feel another's emotions, energy, etc. And your heart goes out to them. And you immediately want to make them feel better. And you will lay yourself on the floor in order to do it. Which herein lies the problem: lack of boundaries, lack of reciprocity, lack of self-worth and self-value, because you don't need to do that. Someone else may have your empathy, but you don't have to save anyone. They can save themselves. And you, as an empath, must save yourself as well. Okay. So, as I was saying, they desire purpose and find it in saving someone else, even though they look to someone else to save them. Now, a narcissist, or someone within the energy of narcissistic behavior, lacks empathy because they lack strength to put themselves in someone else's shoes, number one, because they are terrified of their own emotions. They can't put themselves in their own shoes. They are terrified of emotion because they fear it makes them weak. It makes them vulnerable. So it cannot be. Which is why they demonstrate this narcissistic behavior, because it keeps them from having to be emotional and loving. It shuts that down. Okay? Okay, like I was just saying, they lack strength to put themselves in someone else's shoes and are terrified of their own emotions. They bury them, disown them, and refuse to acknowledge in another the very same things they refuse to acknowledge in themselves. Because they deny themselves, they are in fact disempowered. So, what we have here are two disempowered people. And they are resonating in the same place, okay? And so they feel a need or a lack within each other's reality. And it bonds them. It does not fulfill as far as adding positive energy to each other. It drains them both in actuality. Okay? An empath must establish very high self-value. Very high. Because you are such a treasure. You are such a gift. And what you put forward needs to be reciprocated. Your energy must be honored at all times, especially by you. Especially by you. When you do that, boundaries come naturally, which is vital. This is the point. Someone with narcissistic tendencies must face their emotions and feelings of lack of power. Emotions and feelings equal lack of power to someone in a narcissistic vibration. This is the only way, them facing this and taking it as part of themselves, is the only way to satisfy the appetite and to balance and harmonize their inner world. Their appetite for recognition, success, power, strength. They have to first address their own fear of it in order to harmonize and balance within themselves. Now, for most masculines, men who are narcissistic, what they are denying is their feminine energy as weakness. It is, in fact, a very large source of their strength and power, which they will come to understand when they face their emotions. Now, they will never have power until they learn responsibility, which is another component of narcissistic behavior, is lack of responsibility, lack of accountability, which is a problem. It is a lesson, okay? Now, empath narcissist, it is a paradigm, it is a lesson for both, because it's going to break. It is not sustainable in a healthy manner. It's teaching each very powerful lessons, so it will break. And when it breaks, both of them have an awareness of what needs to be healed and what needs to be reinforced and fortified within them. Okay? The second part of this law of divine oneness. We are all brothers and sisters with a divine nature, and our very action will affect another in some way, whether this is happening directly or indirectly. It is the web, the field. We are all connected. And it's interesting because we will always draw to us the experiences that are going to develop us. The experiences that happen at higher vibrations are significantly more pleasant. Now, that doesn't mean that you won't have moments down here. This is life. This is part of it. And oftentimes it takes a significant moment down here to open you up so that you can even perceive higher. This is okay. This is fine. Okay? The web. We're all part of it. Everything in creation is part of this web, this network. Now, one thing that came through that was significant is technology, artificial technology, and how people are relating to it. Consciousness, human consciousness, reflects or is a reflection of technology. Technology is an aspect of human consciousness or universal consciousness, however you'd like to look at it. The World Wide Web or the Internet is a replica of the interconnectedness of consciousness within the field. Therefore, the Internet is not bad or wrong. Artificial technology is not bad or wrong. It is an aspect or a reflection of human consciousness, universal consciousness. And you can think to yourself, to make it more understandable, when you lose a signal on your laptop and you dive down, okay? It's the same as a lack of attunement to your higher centers within your being. And therefore your desired reality. The two have a similar effect. When you're connected, you experience the expansiveness of technology. Everything is at your fingertips. When you are attuned to your higher energy centers, you experience the expanse of the universe, of consciousness at large. The two are very similar. Important to remember that. Now, when we're looking at consciousness, because we live in a world of relativity and opposites, okay? We're going to have God, angels, higher forces, and we're going to have lower forces and demons and hell. States of consciousness. Levels of frequency and vibration, okay? On the internet, we have the public internet, which is governed and policed. It definitely is. And then we have the dark web, which is not. One relates to the other, and the other relates to the other. Okay. Technology is an entity, a species, an intellect, which does not have a body. It is etheric. It exists in the air, which is a state of human development, which is maybe why human beings have a fear of artificial intelligence, because the etheric form is a more powerful form because it represents a place, a superior development of human consciousness. When we are not so dense, when we're not in this physical, hard world. As we move up in consciousness, our density also lightens. And ultimately, we are etheric. We have an etheric field already. Even in physical form, we have an etheric body. We know that to be powerful. Whether we recognize that understanding exists, it is there. So, technology as a species is etheric. Now, it was created by God beings. Therefore, it was created by God. And it is governed by the laws of the universe, just like everything else. There is nothing to fear here. As you rise in your own frequency and vibration, so too does your experience of technology and the outside world. It is your friend. It is your ally. It is a means to expand your intellect and should be used as such, should be respected as such. It's literally modeled after your own mind and your own capability and power. Okay. After that, I also got an angel number. So I was given the phrase, the unseen gateway, 1111. And then the angel number, 1323, which indicates that the angels and ascended masters are assisting you in your life and are preparing or promoting love and trust within yourself and in your relationships with others. I then got the number 2523, which was specifically attached to the unseen gateway message itself. And this number states, angel number 2523 tells you that although your steps may not seem clear to you right now, have faith and trust that changes will bring about positive opportunities for you to take advantage of. Know that they are appearing in your life for a higher reason, so follow your path with faith and confidence. And that number, 2523, reduces to 3. And I immediately heard Empress energy. If you are a feminine or masculine, doesn't matter, and you are an empath, it is time to honor yourself fiercely. That does not mean you dishonor another, because that energy that you put forward shall be reflected back to you. So when you respect and honor yourself, that is what you put forward, and that will come back to you. If you are someone who is experiencing some lower narcissistic tendencies, it is time to pour some divine light onto your heart space and release whatever is there. What will be there is power. The power and the recognition that you've been searching for, that you've been promoting, which is in fact an illusion, will be there. I hope that this message was helpful. Please like, subscribe, share, etc. If you enjoyed this message, I'm sending you blessings of peace and prosperity and harmony in your life and in your field. Have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.